Own a little and love it a lot. Thestable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. Thestable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Northeast Ohio. We're live at MGM Northfield Park for the thestable.ca Christmas Open House Live. I'm Michael Carter, joined by trainer here at MGM Northfield Park, Jason McGinnis. And Jason, you train all of the horses here in Barn N at MGM Northfield Park. You guys have what, about 70 head now?
Right now, today, I'd say maybe only 60.
Okay.
But there's 5 coming tomorrow, so it fluctuates by the day. So within probably a month, there'll be 70, 75 here.
Well, we've got 10 sets, 3 in Ontario, 7 going to go live here in Ohio. The 3 in Ontario went yesterday, so we're going to take a look at those on tape delay. But for more on the thestable.ca and everything going on, let's head back to Barn N. Anthony McDonald is standing by.
A little chilly this morning in Ohio. This is the first time we've ever done this. We have 2 barns now, as many of you know, on both sides of the border. My wife and I and the kids and Danny and Curtis came over here last night. We did a drone video yesterday in Ontario, 3 sets of babies. We're going to do the rest of them here today. It's different. It's a little bit live and learn for us also when it comes to how we're going to do this moving forward, especially when we look forward to what is as bigger, and that's a spring open house every single year. So we want to know what our strengths are and our weaknesses moving forward. But I can tell you one thing, the strength for sure right now is the horses that we have. Very, very happy and lucky to have the horses in the barn that we have right now, the yearlings that we purchased at the sale. You'll see them on display here, whether it be the drone video from yesterday or whether it be the live video from today at Northfield Park. But it should be a lot of fun. People in the clubhouse, people here in the barn, our work staff's pretty excited. This is the first time we've ever done an open house in Ohio, so the staff here is really excited, ready to get going. So we'll be going on the track as soon as the 3rd set, I guess, is over from Ontario. We'll be heading right out with the horses here in Ohio. So thank you all for tuning in. A lot of fun ahead over the next 3 hours here in Ohio.
All right, thank you, Anthony and Jason. Like he said, lots of great opportunities, some really nice horses in Ontario, some really nice horses here in Ohio as well.
Yeah, we have some real nice babies so far. It's early, obviously, but so far a lot of them have shown some ability and good manners, and it's about all you can ask for in December, as long as they're doing their work well. And hopefully they continue to do so and develop into racehorses.
All right, let's send it up now. We've got Fred McDonald and Bill O'Donnell standing by in Canada. They're in the thestable.ca studios. Welcome in, guys.
Thank you. Nice to be seen here this morning. That's for sure. It's a little chilly out here, that's for sure. But minus 7 little winds, but that's okay.
Nice where I'm at, 72 Fahrenheit.
Well, it's 35 degrees. We're getting a little bit of ice here last night. I was surprised by the ice.
35, is that high?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, 35.
You guys are not gonna-
Fahrenheit. 35 Fahrenheit here.
It's always 70 degrees where Billy O'Donnell is. Just remember that. Always 70 where Billy is.
Okay. It's always sunny in Guelph. Always sunny in Guelph. Not in Philadelphia. It's in Guelph. Now I'm having trouble with my program, Fred. So I'm having trouble getting my email. I couldn't print it off because my Wi-Fi's been going up and down here.
My wife did it last night at midnight. I have it here.
I'm trying to send it over from my email to my iPad, and then I just turned it off and I powered it back up. Maybe it'll come up now. I can't even get it on my phone now either. So I had.
Well, we don't have. There's there's only 5 in the first set anyway, Billy, and that's a redo from yesterday. So
yeah. I've been trying to print it, but then the Wi-Fi goes down. My printer goes offline, and then it doesn't want to come back on because I don't know how to put it back on.
Ready. All right, having some technical difficulties, but we're going to work all that out. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, lots going on, including taking a look at the first set from Ontario.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
By now, you know the name COSA TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA TV, taking Ontario racing global.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Just follow my lead, and then we'll talk about the sets. Welcome back to the thestable.ca Christmas Open House Live. Michael Carter alongside of Jason McGinnis as we take a look at the first set list here going in Ontario. It was at Finish Line Training Center. Did I say that right? First Line Training Center up in Ontario. Some really nice horses, Jason, in this group. You've got Seasons of Love, Blarney Castle, Holly in the Clouds, Lonely Lakewood, and Flash Fly.
Yeah, apparently everybody went pretty good yesterday, and I'm just going by word of mouth. I didn't get to see them. I'm going to see them for the first time here with you, but apparently it went well.
Okay, so as we get ready for set number 1, we'll talk a little bit about that first set here in a little bit, but obviously you guys are stabled right here at MGM Northfield Park with lots going on. Obviously, quick shout out to everything going on. Our new tote board is up.
New tote board, yes.
New tote board. We're getting some new lights, through and through. It's weird to not see that old style tote board back there.
Yeah,
huh?
that tote board's, well, it's definitely older than me, I think, but it's nice and refreshing to see a racetrack pouring money into the racing product. Like you said, all new lights, the brand new tote board with the video screen. It's good to see, and it's exciting.
All right, we'll get to take a look at that a little bit later on. Fred, can you hear us back there in the studios as we get ready to talk about this first set?
I can hear you all the way in PEI. And talking about tote boards and old tote boards, guy come up, Billy O'Donnell, probably was down there, went and had the old tote boards.
You used to have to walk out and put the numbers up. The old tags.
Maybe you did the running, you did the tote board at Sackville Downs when your father was over there, Henny, in the early 60s, did you?
No, I'll tell you two guys that did, Archie McNeil and Glenn Scargill. That's where Archie started his career.
Right, it's a tote board.
Godfrey Photo Finish, it was called, right?
That's exactly right. One of the guys that did it down here was an editor of The Guardian, Lauren Yo. He used to run the tote board. They'd phone over from the grandstand underneath the grandstand and tell you how many tickets were bought, and then they'd flash up the odds, 9-2, 5-2. Here we go.
There we go. Now, the first one here I see, Fred, is one that's still available, is the Bank. That's the one horse, or he has the red saddle number on. Now, the Bank is, he's only had, this is his first crop, I think.
Yep.
Didn't have a whole lot, I think 28 foals, but this is the second one I've seen. Christopher has one. Christopher has one over at Classy Lane that he bought at Harrisburg. Is a nice colt, going along good looking guy and decent family. So
yeah, there's lots to like. The horse made him 1.2 million at the record of 50-4. So, I mean, and look what he's by Donato Hanover and Hall, that great family.
Yeah, absolutely. It can come from anywhere.
So
There's
and it's the first fall.
Yeah, that's always a plus, right?
And we get James on number 2, Blarney Castle. He's my MVP. I mean, he's a pretty good sire. They had a 2-year-old. They had a 2-year-old down here. Well, James had a 2-year-old by my MVP that won $150,000 in Ontario, hasty bid. And then Julie Jameson, the executive director of PEI Harness Racing, does a terrific job. She was in Ontario for many years. You remember her, Julie Jameson, Billy?
Yeah, absolutely. She worked at Goodrow's Clinic there for a lot of years.
Right. She's the executive director down here, and she bought a colt down here called Campco Aaron. And he was a terrific 2-year-old. He went in 2-2 here in the second lifetime start over a half-mile track. And he was unfortunate. He's raced against a colt that 2 of my partners owned called Irish Ray, and he was 11 for 11. But the colts, my MVP colt, well, he was terrific. So, I mean, it wasn't that the other horse, Irish Ray, was that much better. It was a terrific class of fire. There's only a small group of them, 5 or 6, but they all could trot around 2-2, 2-1. You know, that's something to be said.
Yeah, absolutely. They're racing anyway, right? I mean, if they're good enough to get racing, there's hope for all of them, right? So this is
and then the other one, Bill.
For the people watching, this is a new farm that the stable is at this year. Other years they were at Campbellville, and this one here is it's in Guelph. What am I doing here? It's a 5/8 mile track rather than a half-mile track, so they'll start on the back stretch. This is the home stretch now.
Okay.
I trained there for a few years. It's a nice spot.
Billy, there's a lot of horses there as compared to Tamiko, where you know I was up there and there's a whack of horses at first line.
More all the time. Jonas Stutzman owns a farm, and he's built a few barns there since he's taken over. And there's a new barn going up right in this field, right that we're looking at behind the horses there. I think that's where they said the new barn. I was over there yesterday. They're putting another barn up anyway. Maybe that's it back there where all that equipment is, I suppose, right?
So Billy, this is another one that Halley in the clouds, that 3 horse.
Yeah.
It's a muscle mass, and it's
Yeah.
another first foal. And all I can tell you is muscle mass. I know there was one that was born not about a mile from my place. Wade Piccone bred it and raised it and took to Ontario, and it was called Love by the Masses. And Love by the Masses raced in the International Trotting Yonkers about 2 months ago.
He did so. He was sold there after his 3-year-old year. He dominated the grassroots higher stakes here. He won both finals, I believe, as a 2 and 3-year-old. Then he was sold down to U.S. to the Culliper group there, and he's done really
See,
well. He's
they would
raced in
not
all
have.
the big races.
Oh yeah, they would not have sold that colt, because they had the COVID strike was on in Ontario at the time. They didn't think they're going to be racing for a while,
Right? Is
so
that
they
why?
ended up
Yeah.
selling this colt. If had there been racing in Ontario, I doubt if that horse would have been sold. But anyway, that's bad luck for those that sold him, and great luck for those that bought him.
Yeah, he's probably earned 500,000-600,000, I think, since he was the best horse in North America last winter there at the Meadowlands.
The other one, Billy, is Father Patrick. Father Patrick, Lonely Lakewood. It's a sister. I'm sorry, it's a brother, the Selfie Queen, the Muscle Hill, that made 480,000. So, what can you say about Lonely Lakewood?
All right. What number is he? That one there?
He's
Fred, you're
he's
talking
the
about?
4 horse. Johnny
4.
McKinnon, the green, 4 green.
I'm just
He's
looking
in
at
along
it
the
right
rail there,
now.
4.
I'm trying to pull this program up on my phone. This is okay. The Father Patrick. There you go. I mean, you get another one, just 2-year-old. One died, so you got a 2-year-old this year, a Walner, and now they go to Father Patrick. But that goes back to that. Cameron Hall, a great mare, right? She made $2 million, raced until she was 6, 7 years old, and I think
Oh,
she probably went overseas. I think. I don't think she's in Canada, United States. I think when they moved their operation back over to Norway or Finland, wherever they were from there, I think they took her with them. But she is a
oh
great
wow.
family.
Okay, and the last one, Billy, is a horse called Flash Fly. That's the one the Auntie has in the black. That's him in the front right now. Green
Right.
shoe, first crop. You like green shoe,
Yep.
Billy? What can you say about it?
Well, he was fast. He was very unhandy, if I guess that would be the word. Brian Sears raced him as most of his life there, and he was really cautious with him. But boy, he had lots of speed, that horse. And he's the type of horse you like to see come back as a 4-year-old. That when he matured more and got his legs under him better, and I think he would have been top. Well, he was a top notch. He'd have been a top notch free for all or two. But no, he was a
Wow.
very good horse, and well received this fall too. And I'm sure he got good mares because of what he was. So he had a big chance, right?
Well, you were talking about him if he'd mind his manners. He just letting the run. Anthony won't like that. Neither will I. I got shares in that horse, Billy. We bought some
Yeah.
shares in him. My partnership group, the Three Wiseman stable, is our group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we bought.
you gotta let them run. They gotta learn to do that with where the trotters are pacers, right? If you don't, and they do,
Yeah.
if you get down to race time and then they start doing it, they're not quite as handy at it. So let them do it and get used to it, right?
Okay, makes
Long
sense.
time between now and next June. If you ever went to Spring Garden Ranch years ago and watched Chucky Sylvester train 40 of them running and skiving and diving all over the place, and then all of a sudden, come fall, he won all the Breeders' Crowns and Trainer of the Year. So he was the same way. Just let them be horses for a while, right? They're babies.
Well, this one here, this I see in this first group, Billy. Most of them are all sold out anyway, so there's only one Seasons of Love, and there's not many shares
Yeah.
left on her anyway. And she's by that first crop sire of the bank, so made $1 million.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll let him know. Okay, bye. All right, set number 1 is complete. Saw some really nice horses, as Billy O'Donnell said. The first crop of Green Shoe was in there, and you had that one in Flash Fly. And, Flash Fly made a break, maybe need some hobbles. We'll see.
Yeah, the Green Shoes, as Anthony's alluded to earlier, they've been a little tough to break, and Billy spoke of Green Shoe himself, arguably the fastest trotter I've ever seen. His problem was he wasn't easy to drive. I thought Brian Sears did a tremendous job with him, and he was very erratic, and he was known to make breaks at bad times, but just scary fast. So, it's early. Hopefully they've been coming along, and we got a couple of them here in Ohio, so we're going to get to see here shortly. So, hopefully they keep coming forward.
All right, set number 4 is what we're going to jump to next. It is the first Ohio set. We'll call a little bit of an audible and show some of the Ontario sets in just a little bit. Set 1 in Ohio, some really nice horses. You get to work with these horses on a pretty consistent basis. I say consistent because, well, you're always here. But, it's really nice sets here. And before we go back to Anthony McDonald, maybe who's your king of the set here?
In all fairness, it'd be kind of tough for me to say. I just came off a extended leave of absence, and I'm back now. And I only came back to work on Monday, and everybody at the barn, Jason Merriman, Daryl Rideout, Lauren Harmon, everybody's done a really great job keeping the ship going. Prince Charmer's one that Anthony's going to go with. He's a long Tom colt, and he's kind of showed some ability right from day one. I'm a big fan of his.
All right, all of the horses in this set completely sold out. Let's throw it back to Anthony McDonald on the backstretch.
What's going on, guys? It's kind of neat getting to see the horses from yesterday. I didn't get to see the videos until today also, and very happy with what I saw. I know you alluded to Flashfly making a break. The Green Shoes were difficult to break. I think we have 7 or 8 of them, and I think 5 of them we had the hobbles on it. Not because they can't do it. They're just a little fractious. They're a little, probably a lot like their dad, and a little stubborn. But once they get it, they do it really well. You're going to see a filly come up in the 3rd set called Insider Trading, and kind of a neat story behind her. We'll talk about that later. But very happy with the first set. Horse that really surprised me a lot was Lonely Lakewood. Now this is a Pennsylvania bred Father Patrick colt. He is a brother to Selfie Queen. Now Selfie Queen took America 50 and sold for $500,000, I believe $500,000 in Harrisburg, as at the end of her 3-year-old year this year. And this is her half brother by Father Patrick. And I was so surprised. I saw him closing hard, and the end of it, hard for the speeds we're going. It's not super hard, but still closing up and finishing off his work. And I couldn't even place him. I said to Johnny, geez, who is that? He said, that's the Father Patrick colt. Now, he was originally when we bought him, so we brought him over to Ontario and had him castrated. So he's a gelding now, but man, he was really, really good. Flashfly just rolled off stride. Again, if you go back and watch, it was not until Johnny got to my bridle on the far outside. I think it kind of surprised her in the fact that she was going to go on and just kind of lost her gait and rolled off stride. But she's got a great attitude right now and doing her work well. Seasons of Love made a break earlier, but was very, very good last week. Hallie in the Clouds. I said to my wife, I know we paid quite a bit of money for Hallie in the Clouds, and I couldn't really remember why. It was earlier in the Lexington sale. I went back and looked. She's out of a sister to a filly that I held in very, very high regard that we had. And her name was Path of Totality. So Hallie in the Clouds was good also. And, of course, a couple little breaks there. Seasons of Love made a break. I made a break, and James's colt made a break at the back, Blarney Castle. But, again, they're just learning how to do the work. We're not too concerned about it. We are going out in the 4th set here. Jason did allude to Prince Charmer having some looking good from the start. He has, and he does look good. A number of horses in here. Blanton's Blue. This is the Chapter 7 brother to Mambasita. He's in here. He's a nice colt. Ready for Landing is a brother to What the Hill, and he looks very nice also. Horse that everybody's going to be talking about probably after this, a couple of them. Everybody in this set is a pretty nice horse so far anyway. Oh Snap You, my wife is going with. This is a creatine filly that we like very much. And No Chance in Hill, or What the Hill. This is a giant. And when we bought him, he was crazy at the sale and almost cleaned out the back ring. And we thought, oh, this guy's going to be hard to break and he's going to be a headache. He's the sweetest horse in the world now, and he's just a really nice horse. We're lucky also to have Chris Lems joining us today. So he's going to go with No Chance in Hill. Jason Merriman, who helps Jason out. He's a flagship bear. He's a guy who runs the ship for the yearlings on the other side. Jason has the racehorses on this side. We're all under the same roof. And we're very lucky to have Jason also. He's going with 3rd and 6. So set number 4 going out right now. We're heading on the track right now. I want to get started here in Ohio also. So we're going to juggle the Ontario sets a little bit. This is set number 4 from Ohio.
Prizes to give away after the first set. Congratulations, Tony Bolger. Tony Bolger going to take home a $25 account credit from thestable.ca. And Jason, listen, man, maybe he'll be using that. $25 credit on one of the horses we'll see in the next couple of sets. Obviously, all of them are sold out from this set, but who knows what we'll see throughout the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, there's some shares left in a few of them here, but like I said, this set coming up here live in Ohio, everybody's sold out, and going to be interesting to watch.
All right, one of the nice things about here at MGM Northfield Park, the camera placement sitting right back in the back, so we'll be able to see when the horses begin to step out this way. Let's talk about a couple of the other horses coming up in set 2 in Ontario. We talked a little bit about Great Bet off camera, and I got to say, man, Great Bet, just from a breeding perspective, looks phenomenal. Now, one of the big things I tend to look at, of course, I look at the first dam or whatever, but the second dam, from a breeding standpoint, is always a big thing, right?
Exactly, and he has a great family, and he was a good-looking horse at the sale. I was there at the sale in Ontario, and he was one that really caught the eye of Anthony and Harry Poulton. O'Brien Award for horsemanship nominee Harry Poulton, and vote for Harry. And he was a good-looking colt, and he has a tremendous family. And it was a little shocking at how little. I mean, I don't think he was extremely little. I believe he was around 27,000. But for his family, I thought he was definitely underpriced.
Yeah, $27,000 purchase at I believe it was
Canadian.
London, I believe. Yeah. So
new sale in London.
And let's talk about that London sale for just a little bit. I mean, that's a fairly newer sale. It's kind of produced some really nice Ontario bred type horses, and it's kind of produced some wild cards, so to speak.
Yeah, it was. I spent 2 days at the sale, and I didn't put my hand up. I was trying to buy a horse, and I found it. It tends to be a little overpriced, in my opinion, which is great for the breeders. There were a lot of nice horses in the sale, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people don't want to go to Harrisburg, don't want to pay to have their horses shipped, don't want to pay the American money, and it's just as easy to buy a colt in London, ship them an hour home, and that's it, call it a day. So I understand it. It's great for the breeders, but it was a very strong sale, so congratulations to them.
All right, let's talk a little bit about set number 4. We'll kick things off with 3rd and 6. This is a six-pack, a son of six-pack, 3rd and 6 out of the dam Third Reef. Tell us a little bit about 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, he's coming along okay. I'm kind of interested to watch the 6-packs today. I bought a 6-pack myself in Harrisburg. Haven't broke her yet. She's been turned out. She's coming into the barn tomorrow. So I'm curious for the 6-packs. He was such a great horse. I thought he was a tremendous horse, a son of muscle mass, and a gorgeous-looking horse. I'm pretty excited to see the 6-packs go.
All right, we'll talk about the rest of them here in just a moment. For those of you getting ready to watch the live feed, we could actually see them getting ready to come on to the racetrack. And the first one out looks like Anthony McDonald's Prince Charmer, I believe, is the first one coming onto the racetrack. This is a son of Long Tom. And the Long Toms have really kind of stepped up and kind of filled a really big void on the trotting side.
Yeah, we've had some success with the Long Toms. We had a really nice colt who got injured, but he was a nice colt. We had a pretty nice horse in Slim Jimmy, was a good horse for us the last couple of years here. And I'm a big fan of the Long Toms. I really like them, and they seem to have a good attitude, good gaited. I'm definitely a fan of Long Tom.
All right, as the rest of them get ready to come onto the racetrack, let's send it back to Bill O'Donnell and Fred McDonald as we get ready to take a look at set number 4, and Jason and I will pick it back up when they get ready to roll.
Okay. Well, Fred,
Billy, I'm just wondering, Anthony, I think, prefers trotters over pacers. Do you agree with me in that statement?
I think so. I mean, he's had great luck with them too. Not just this since he's been buying these yearlings, but racehorses too. Anthony's done a real good job with some of those old racehorses that he brought them back to life basically, and done really well with them.
Yeah. I watched the other night and I saw the old Amy's favorite is White Tiger. He looked like $1 million. Got home and winning 53-4, and then the horse that he bought at Harrisburg and then was Muscle Hill. It's what's his name? Saved the money or something money. It win the other day in 53 and a piece. And what else has he got in there? Oh, he's got a Muscle Hill down in Northfield, Kings County. He's been pounding them down there. He's won the Open 3 or 4 times, so he's had great luck with them. And then, what about the horse that raced in Hamiltonian last year? He won the other night in 15-4 at Mohawks at the track record. Locatelli. Yeah. So he's got about 5 or 6 that can really fly. So good for him, and just nothing like good luck in the race game. Got to have some luck with you.
Well, the guys who work the hardest have the most luck. Too, right, and that they fall into that category. That's for darn sure. Like he's bought this year. He's gone a little different area there too. He's been buying racehorses, and he bought a whole bunch of them that he's done really, really well with, right?
Yes, the other horse I had down here, Patrick the Piranha, is another one.
Yeah,
Mark Beckwith had him down in Saratoga for him. Yep.
Yeah.
And of course Centra. Centra's been absolutely terrific.
Oh yeah, what a great horse he's been his whole life, right? And he's 9 years old, and he won the Open the other night at Mohawk, right?
Yeah, Sylvan drove him and beat so much more, and 2 or 3 other horses. And No Free Lunch was in there too, I believe. It's another one of Anthony's age, or well, it's not age. He's 4-year-old, I guess. So anyway, Centra, they've had a great run at it, and let's hope the luck continues. You got to have some luck in this business, or you're out to lunch.
Yeah.
I see, Billy, he's got a couple of What the Hills in here, and they had What the Hill had a heck of a year in Ohio, and they have a filly down there, the thestable.ca, called Swinging Senorita, and she was as good as any of them. I saw her win early in the year at Northfield and win easy. So anyway, let's hope the What the Hills and the Long Toms are really good. We get a few of them in here today in this set.
They're kind of a diverse bunch too, right? There's some Ohio. There's Chapter 7. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's one of the top 2 sires in the country, in North America, really. He seems to do a great job.
He's got one in here, the Blanton's Blue. It's a Chapter 7.
Yeah.
Billy, he's New York. He's a New York bred, isn't he? Chapter 7.
He is. Yeah, he's a blue chip
New York.
Farm, yeah, blue chip farm.
Yeah, Tom Grossman. And they have the son that the stable had last year. He's standing at blue chip, called 3 Point Blue Chip. The horse that won the matron last year for James, and then he got hurt. But he's standing now. I see for stout fee $6,500. He'd be a welcome addition. But Billy, Anthony had a trotter called Bomb Hugger by Chapter 7, but he was in the Smalley side. The other one seemed to be a lot bigger.
I don't think Chapter 7 was a very big horse. I don't think. I shouldn't say that because I know exactly but just from watching him race. But man, he was a good horse. He was a good horse. He raced as a 4-year-old too, and he was just a good horse. He just dominated, and he's done really well as a sire too. So, and he's a Winsong Legacy, which was a kind of a known cross, and Winsong Legacy, he died young. I think he was 6 years old when he died. So, and he was a good sire. Obviously, he sired Chapter 7, so he's got that bloodline to carry on.
So you breed all those horses to the Muscle Hill types.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. That's you got to have a known cross somewhere along the line, right?
Exactly. And I see Amy's got one here called Oh Snap You. And what is that?
Mm-hmm. She's a creatine, I think they said, right?
Okay, all right.
I don't have the program up. I'm having trouble. Technical.
Well, we're back live here at MGM Northfield Park. Guys are jogging around, getting ready to go. We're very fortunate, and I've spoken this, a couple times. Just look at the people we have out here training these horses for us. Accomplished drivers. Jason Merriman, Chris Lem's taking time out of his day. One of the top drivers here at Northfield Park to come out and train babies with us. Anthony's got a way of talking people into doing things, but it was great of Chris to come out. Jason, of course, works for us. He's been a great addition. and somebody that's been there since before I was there, Danny O'Brien, who, you know, I've praised him before, having Danny come down to Ohio for the weekend with Anthony and Amy. You know, we're lucky to have the people, even home. You know, we have the O'Brien Award winner jogging and training our babies every day, James McDonald, and Mario Balerjean with probably 8,000 wins. We're very fortunate with the people we get to sit behind these horses.
All right, so set number 4 coming up. It is a field of 6. We've got a couple of New Jersey breds, 3 Ohio breds, and let's talk a little bit about what Bill said. What the Hill has really taken a stand here at Ohio. Whether you want to call him a Hambletonian champion or not, you know, the record books don't say he was, but he was a Hambletonian winner for for a few minutes anyway.
Yeah.
And he raced extremely well in that race. And he really came back at the TVG final that year and just showed his stuff. And he is really starting to produce some really nice horses.
Yeah, you know, and you look, you talk about the TVG final and stuff like that. For a 3-year-old to step up against older horses at the end of the year it's incredible. It's very rare. It's so hard to do, and he stepped up and beat them. Since the Hambletonian, I'll never forget Ron Burke. He's my hero. He pulled his shoes and took the hobbles off after the elimination, going for $1 million. Like, who does that?
Yeah.
He did it. Unfortunately, a little interference and he got tossed, but the horse deserved to win, and he was a great horse, and he's turning into a great sire.
All right, a couple of the Ohio breds. You've got Oh Snap You, Prince Charmer, and No Chance in Hill as they get ready to line up here for the first set here in Ohio. Thanks so much to everybody for joining us here at MGM Northfield Park here this morning for the thestable.ca Christmas open house. We've got a nice spread downstairs. Thanks to those of you joining us on track. If you could hear us downstairs on the closed circuit TV monitors, pretty decent crowd downstairs. Got some people down there enjoying some breakfast.
Yeah, I haven't got any breakfast yet, by the way. But
Neither have I.
Just saying. But no, it's great, and it's great that people can come back out. And you know, in the past we had some just tremendous crowds at Tomiko. I swear there were more people at the farm watching the babies jog and train than at the racetrack some nights. But it's always great to have everybody come out to the barn. There were some owners in the barn early and before I came over to the grandstand here, and it's always great. It's good too putting some of the faces with some of the people that you talk to through text or email or messenger or what have you. But it's good to meet some of the people and get to see them come out and watch their horses go.
All right, we've got 3rd and 6 and Blanton's Blue stepping up here. And what I really like about trotters is kind of that high stepping form. And Blanton's Blue really has that with Daryl Rideout right now, you know, sort of taking the lead, I guess.
Danny's on Blanton's Blue.
Oh, excuse me.
They're all dressed in black. Daryl
My
has
apologies.
Tactical Landing, Ready for Landing, New Jersey sired.
That's who I meant. That's
Right,
who I meant. Ready
right.
for landing.
Ready for Landing. Yeah, he looks good. You know, look at him go with his head down low and everything, and
So as they move on to the backstretch here, you've got 3rd and 6 currently up front with Ready for Landing. Slowly moving up on the outside, Prince Charmer. You know, they're kind of going at a soft pace. What do you expect for them to go in these sets? Is it more of like a 2-minute mile, or is it more like 2:10, 2:20?
Hopefully Anthony behaves himself and we go right around 2:55 or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
3-minute range. The biggest thing you're looking for now in December still is their gait. They're working on their gait and manners, in my opinion. You want to see them doing their work well, that they like doing their work. And, you know, everybody's behaving and starting to polish up a little bit. And as we get into the new year and start training.
I don't know. Bill and Fred might be back in the studio laughing at me. I'm not, you know, I love the 2-year-olds, but I'm not a big baby person, as you can tell from calling it 220. But that's okay. I can learn from
I hope
from
Anthony
you guys.
doesn't go in 220.
All right. Coming back by us here, right up front is Prince Charmer. And, you know, you have to teach these horses to pass, right? You have
Right.
to teach them to be able to pass.
Absolutely.
And Anthony did just that with this horse. You know, he was sitting fourth and just kind of eased him up to the lead there. And everybody's minding their manners thus far. Another one that I really like is the No Chance in Hill with that high stepping trot as well.
Right, there's a couple, and this is a pretty decent set right here. There's some nice horses in here, and yeah, I was, you know, everybody's told me how nice the Prince Charmer is, and Anthony's showing him off a little bit on the front end.
Now the Prince Charmer, It's the first dam of Charmer Hall, who has produced 8 foals. None of them making $100,000 yet. However, like we talked about earlier, the second dam's really where it's at, right? Second dam produced Habitat, who made $171,000, and we all remember Habitat. But look down here, overruled, or excuse me, civil action rather, $1.2 million.
Right.
So some really nice offspring currently shining through.
Yeah, definitely. This colt, I had him picked for myself at the sale. I ended up not making it to the sale, and sure enough, Anthony ended up buying him, and I thought he was drastically undersold. Maybe it is because the mare's had 8 foals. That doesn't bother me in the slightest, and I just liked the horse himself. To find another yearling like this colt for $8,000, it's remarkable.
All right, so making a break there towards the back was Ready for Landing, and Anthony just made a break as well with Prince Charmer, but got back together pretty evenly.
Yeah, it just looked like he shied away a little bit or something there.
But one quick note about Ready for Landing: the first dam, KT Cha Cha. Check out the sun there. What's the first one? What the hill?
What the hill?
So Ready for Landing's got, if you want to call it, some what the hill kind of in his blood.
Right, and he looks like he's misbehaving a little bit on Daryl. I remember the tactical landings a little bit last year. Just took a little while to get going, and once they did, they mind their manners, and it's so early still. But right now he looks, I don't know if he's on the screen, but right now he looks like $1 million for Daryl.
Yeah, moving up on the outside there, the 6, No Chance in Hill. As you said, Chris Lems came in to help you guys train some of the babies here this morning. Really nice looking horse as well.
Yeah, he's going real well, and Anthony's just going to kind of make himself a little team there and push through and shove Lemsy 3 wide, but he's eager to get this colt out and going.
A horse we haven't talked about yet, Amy McDonald, currently moving up in the pocket spot there with O Snap U, and O Snap U is the first foal out of the first dam Southwind Cruella, and the second dam Casting Couch only made $33,000, but has thrown a couple of nice horses.
Right, I think creatine's underrated. I really do. There's been some jujube with a creatine. Like, we had a nice creatine filly here for a couple of years, Purple Aura. She was what she was, but she was a pretty decent filly. Took a mark of 55, I believe, and made us some money before we sold her for a in the rail, and O Snap U looked really good.
All right, so as the first set getting ready to come to completion here in just a moment, making a break there was the 1, 3rd, and 6 towards the back. So as they continue up into the backstretch, as you see, O Snap U with about a 7-length lead at this point. We're gonna have to judge Anthony a little bit later on because he let his wife beat him.
This is true. This is true.
So as they get ready to pull up here and get ready to turn the first set, coming to conclusion here at MGM Northfield Park. So some nice babies. Again, it's still early though, Jason, like you said, right?
Yeah, like my own filly, I haven't broke her yet. She's out in the field, and you take into mind the Harrisburg babies. That sale was only a month ago.
Yeah.
So the Ohio breds, like a Prince Charmer, that they do have a little bit of a leg up because that sale was second week of September before the Little Brown Jug.
Yep.
That's 2 months.
Yeah.
That's 8 weeks of jogging and going in sets and going together where, they're ahead of the other horses for sure. So it's really tough to gauge.
All right, we'll talk about what it takes to teach some of these horses here in just a little bit. Bill, Fred, what'd you make from this set?
Oh, I liked every bit of it. I'd love to see Amy winning, too. And don't forget, it's the first foal of a Muscle Hill Dam. First foal of a Muscle Hill Dam, and Muscle Hill is a generational sire, and he's turned out to be and it would cross it with a lot of these outcross horses. So God knows what you're going to come up with. He could have been champion in the first crop, and this could be one. Who knows?
You think the photo sign's not up yet, Fred? I think Blaine Blue won. Was I watching the wrong race? Hey, I don't know. He was talking pretty good. I know you got to do that.
That's right.
Christmas
And no
present,
photo
right?
finish. And I'm the judge's stand. I'm up in the judge's stand. It's like the old days. There's no photo
Yeah,
finish.
you
All,
got to.
guy in the judge's stand makes the call.
Yeah, you call them as you see them.
That's right. So
I
Amy's
was
the winner in this one.
I was pretty impressed with both those. The creatine, I think it was a filly. Anthony said, right, and because I don't have the
Mm-hmm.
program, but it was the bait. Blanton Blue. Is that a colt or filly?
Bantam 4 green. Bantam Blue is. It's a colt. It's a colt by your old
Yeah,
pal, Chapter 7.
yeah. No,
Making you look good again, Billy, the Chapter 7 winning. You're
absolutely.
just singing his praises.
Just go by statistics. Just his data, right? So,
That's right.
but
You got it.
I think he's a great sire, that horse. I think, but and creatine too. I mean, he was a great horse, and like Jason said, he's pretty underrated. That horse, right? I think he's well liked by people that train him, and they're his get. So he'll bounce back.
Great.
And What a Hill, by the way, guys, was the winner of the Hamiltonian. That was a terrible call on everybody's part.
Yeah, it was David Miller who was
Doc,
taken down, wasn't he? Was it Dave?
You know, I've been in that situation a number of times. When you get your front feet up by a guy's wheel and he starts to move you over, what are you going to do? There's a lot more room
Yeah.
to the right than there is to it.
All right, thank you, Bill and Fred. We'll go back to them in just a little bit. Jason, we talked about how good set number 1 in Ohio was. We'll get to set number 2 here in just a couple of moments. We'll talk to Anthony back in the barn. He'll give us a little bit of a recap. We'll talk about our second prize winner as well. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, more from MGM Northfield Park.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
So that was set number 1, set number 4 on your program, so to speak. 2 seconds we went with them. Now, a couple of those horses have actually been faster, but it was a good workout. I made a break on the front end coming to the half. He just saw something on the track. There was some stuff on the track, and he just stepped over for a piece and lost his attention and rolled off stride. He caught back up and went right through the middle down the backstretch. So Chris Lems went with No Chance in Hill. Lazy went from crazy all in a few months. I'm certainly not worried about that. You know, the only dig I had about the What the Hills that we had over the last 3-4 years or since his first season was they could get a little grabby, a little hot, a little aggressive. Geez, the ones we got this year are quiet, so I'm not going to complain a little bit. Very happy with what I saw from No Chance in Hill. You guys saw Blanton's Blue on the item. Pretty sure he picked me up to win the set. And looked very, very good. That is the half brother to Mambasita. Going to cue Fred and Billy up a little bit here. Mambasita made almost a half hours, I believe, here. That would be Blues halfser by Tactical Landing that Tony Alani campaigned this year. Oh Snap You was flying on the inside for Amy. I knew when 3rd and 6 made a break to turn the damn Amy was going to have time getting into the lane and getting past us. But man, she took off down the lane. This is a beautiful filly. Very, very happy with her. I believe our only creatine this year. We had a lot of luck with the creatine we had before in Purple Aura, I believe. Set the track record, still has the track record. in Dayton, Ohio for 2-year-old trotting fillies. Ready for Landing made a break on Daryl. That's one that I love. I love this colt. This is What the Hills brother. Little strong in the face. We're going to have to put a check bit in his mouth now and get his head up a little bit. These are the things we start to do this time of year, but certainly no concerns from anybody in that set. Very happy with what I saw from everybody. Prince Charmer was very good also. Happy with him. A little heel scratch left hind, so he's a little tender on it going out. I jogged him along, got him heated up and worked through it, and he looked very good. So I think we're going with set number 2 in Ontario. If we're not, we're going right out with set number 5. Cowboy by the Sea was the sail topper on the pacing side this year. He is a by the Sea side colt. This half brother to Captain Cowgirl that Tim Teatrick drove for Jim King. This is her half brother in Cowboy by the Sea. Arson is a half brother to the filly that was second in the Breeders' Crown to Bobby McClure. Charleston, this is her half brother in Arson, going on the track also in set number 5. A lot of nice horses in this set, and I can't wait to go with them. We'll be going out in just a second.
All right, thank you, Anthony, and let's talk about the next prize winner, Jason.
The winner of the assorted swag from thestable.ca, Kirk Martin. Congratulations, Kirk. You get to represent thestable.ca with some new swag.
All right, so thestable.ca swag for Kirk Martin, and we've seen some of the stable.ca swag, and it's some really cool stuff. They've got some really great shirts and hats and whatnot, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. While we're waiting for them to come on to the racetrack, set number 2 in Ontario, I cannot wait to watch Great Bet, who's going to be in the purple.
Yeah, great bet. Johnny McKinnon is going with here. Johnny, another longtime employee, valuable guy to go with the babies at home, does a great job. He's got a great bet. Danny O'Brien is going to go with the He's Watching Cold, Watch Your Mouth. James McDonald, reigning O'Brien Award Driver of the Year, has the McWicked Colt, J Port Beach Boy. Anthony with the Captain Crunch Brother 2 Forever Boy. He was a high-priced purchase in Harrisburg. Time is on my side. Brian Fantana will go with the Shadow Play filly Winter Bells. And Mario Belerjean, who I spoke about earlier, he is got a McWicked filly. First full crop McWicked. He's done a little test breeding, but this is his first full crop to sell. He has the McWicked filly Mick Paisley.
All right, for more on this set, let's send it to Bill O'Donnell and Fred McDonald back in the studios. Guys?
Billy, see the McWicket's averaged about $40,000 at Lexington and Harrisburg. What can you say about him? Can you help us out with him?
What can't you say? I mean, what a great horse. And he lasted a long time, raced against the best week in and week out, year in and year out. Changed trainers, changed barns. I mean, just was a great horse. Great. And
it'd be interesting to see. We sold some of them down here in the Maritimes that went through the sale, and they attracted good prices, and he attracted a lot of attention. He's loved everywhere, every jurisdiction in North America.
Well, he's a nice
the other horses, yeah, they look good at the sale. They're big, good-looking horses. Something like that International Money. Every one I saw looked like if I was comparing them to the athletes, it looked like Muhammad Ali. Big, beautiful horses.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back, there's another one in here that Reg Pettipaw owned a brother to him. It's called Great Bet. Is it the last one? Just hang on here. Yes, that's Greatest Ending. This one is Great Bet, and all bets off. It's a brother to Greatest Ending. Now, Greatest Ending was plagued by quarter cracks all last year as a 3-year-old, and I remember Ian just got him half right. Ian Moore had him, and Mark drove him, and he won a $200,000 race, and he made a $150,000 race back to back. So he made around $160,000 in 2 weeks, and they put him in the jug. And again, he wasn't quite right in the jug, and the quarter cracks plagued him again. They ended up selling him before the jug. Remember that was created quite a controversy. They put him in. They put him up for sale the week before the jug, and he ended up attracting a big price. But he wasn't himself. He was feet problem, but quarter cracks plagued him all year. So he could be any kind of horse. He was owned down here in Moncton by Reg Pettipaw. So this horse could be anything. Who knows?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, you get a good winner in him and come back next year for sure. For sure.
Billy, what about All Bets Off? You like him now? His first crop was last year, I believe.
It was.
Yes.
And, you know, he did really well, too. I mean, he had a pretty good year here in Ontario. There was a
Really?
couple in there. Bob McIntosh had a couple that did real well.
Good. There was a couple of races down here. I know Jeff Lilly bought one and he took it over to Truro here. I think it showed a qualifier in 2.5 or something like that, and its first start out in October went 57 Truro. It was kind of surprising.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, you never know what's going to happen. You never know with these babies what they're going to do with 2-year-olds. Who knows?
No. Jeff has good luck with his own mares. Pretty good luck, right?
Has he ever had? Everything he touches turned to gold. Everything. Anyways, it's great to have that kind of luck.
Yeah, he was born under the right star, Jeff.
That's for sure. That's for sure. You
He's
know,
not from
those horses he raced.
black and worry.
Well,
He does a lot of studying, a lot of worrying. You know, Jeff, he does a lot of homework before he decides what he's going to do, I think.
Well, he's got to be doing something right. In the Breeders' Crown here in Charlottetown, October this year, he'd a horse in the Aged Breeder Crown, and he'd a mare in the Aged Breeders' Crown division. 2 of them.
Yeah.
Not bad for a little trainer.
For small
So anyways, and the other one in here, Billy, there's another one in here that Anthony bought at Harrisburg. It's Tim Twaddle had the Forever Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then look at this one. Your old pal. You got to look after the Maritime boys. Look, Century Pharaoh's brother, Jayport Beach Boy by McWicket. Now, if anybody had license to be a beast, it's got to be this one. It's a McWicket out of the same dam as Century Pharaoh.
Yeah, he was a good hard hit for a long time too. Absolutely.
Yeah, and six other brothers or sisters of Century Pharaoh made over 100,000. So I mean, this would be one if you're going to pick.
Yeah,
what's that?
Down by the seaside. The colt is down by the sea. Down by the sea. Code number pads he have on.
Huh? Down by the seaside.
I think
I
he said
can't
there was
see this, Billy.
one.
Okay, I'm looking at McPaisley. I think this was a hunchback by an Anthony's part, Billy.
I'm going to say
he bought this horse.
I'm going to say the 3 is probably the down by.
Yeah,
but
the 3
name
horse.
Time
Okay.
is on my side.
Time is on my side. Oh yes, Billy. Yes, Forever Boy's brother.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
By Captain Crunch.
That's him on the front.
Yes, yeah. That's the one.
that's
Tim Twaddle's had Forever Boy, and this is the brother to him by Captain Crunch. Oh yeah, they paid around 160,000, somewhere in that area for this horse at Harrisburg. Beautiful horse, beautiful colt.
Yeah. That's down by the seaside.
So there's a lot.
Captain Crunch. That's a new sire too, Captain.
Yes, absolutely. The son of Captain Treacherous. Yeah, that's the horse. Some beat somewhere's grandson. So McQuick is Billy. There's also, what else is in here? Did I see a Shadow Play? And look at Shadow Play, will you? Winter Bells. It's a filly by Shadow Play. I hope the share's left in this one. Right. Winter Bells. 70% available. And it's a Shadow Play. I mean, Bulldog, Lawless Shadow, Desperate Man. I mean, what else more can you say?
Lady Shadow, the two top.
Oh, right, Lady Shadow, yes.
When they did that, I think Harold Howe did the article on Shadow Play. We still there, Fred?
Stand inside the office to talk. Stand inside the office to talk. Well, that was set number 2 from Ontario. We're going to head right out here for set number 5, I guess, in Ohio.